how to stay consistent without burnout. Hi people, so if you ever feel exhausted or you lose your motivation after you started a project with full steam pretty quickly, then this video is for you. By the end of this video, you will have 3 practical steps how you can use your self-discipline to actually have energy to do the things that you want to do, that you love to do, and to stay consistent with those things, to follow through. Burnout doesn't mean that you are some kind of weak person, but it means that you are doing too many things without the flow in them. Some problems that you can have are feeling exhausted, like you start something full steam but then you lose steam pretty quickly. You feel overwhelmed by your to-do list that seems endless, an endless to-do list. The lack of motivation, you struggle to stay inspired and creative, for example. So the first step is going to be to connect with your feminine energy. Why is that? This will help you to set the right priorities, like taking care of yourself, of your nutrition, of your well-being, mentally, physically, emotionally, while you are going after your goals, while you are staying consistent with your projects. Think about resting. Think about having pleasure in your life. Think about including breaks when you work. All these things are they are going to be what power up your next movement. When you take a deep inhale and you exhale fully, it gives you that power that can help you to take the next inhale. So it's the same when you are working with so much energy on something. It's important to include pleasure, to listen to yourself if you are still having fun doing the things that you love doing. And if that's not the case, you can switch to another task that will give you some fun, some pleasure, before you can come back to what you were doing. So think of rest and pleasure as that exhale that will power up your next inhale, as that power that will help you to do your next step easily, effortlessly, gracefully. So let me share with you 3 tips that are going to help you to connect more with your feminine energy in order to be more consistent, more productive, but without burnout. So the first is to really get in touch with your vision again and let it pull you forward, asking yourself what is going to feel really good to do right now and going with that thing. If, for example, you are working so concentrated, make sure to include the breaks as a just as important part of the task. For example, using the Pomo focus method, after 25 minutes of work, if you are bored, you can have 5-minute breaks or a longer 15-minute breaks before you come back to your work, right? It will depend on how much flow you have, how much in flow you are. You know, those times where you don't see time go by because you are so focused on a task, right? If that is the case, let's go with that. That is your inspiration. But if you feel exhausted, you feel like you are pushing, this is when you need those breaks. Switch, go in the kitchen, drink a glass of water, or do some push-ups, paint, whatever you love doing. Introduce that as a break, and then you can come back and continue with your work. Tip 2 is going to be to honor your menstrual cycle and to also work with those phases of the cycle. For example, there will be phases where you feel more energized. What phase is for you that phase where you have the most energy? It's going to be different for different people, right? But generally, your ovulatory phase, for example, is like your summertime. You have so much energy, you are so inspired, so creative, and this is when you can choose to bash for your content creation. For you, it's another phase that is that phase of full energy. Listen to your body and use that phase to batch your content, because there will be other phases when you need to go within to reflect more and not be so outward focused. Honor also those and recharge, right? Because like we said before, it's going to be that what powers up your next move. So honoring those phases of our cycle is a beautiful way to connect with our feminine energy in order to be consistent but without triggering burnout. Tip number 3 is going to be to really listen to your body. Does it feel like you are dragging, like you are pushing against your own body, right? Do you need a rest? Take a nap. Do you need to simplify your process? How can you make it so easy and so fun for you? Take those steps and include them. Simplify your process as much as you can in order to be more in flow. Right, let's move on to my step number 2 when it comes to being consistent, entering your self-discipline era without burnout. So step 2 is really to honor your desires and to set goals that are aligned with those desires but also flexible. Alright, so it's about shifting from a really high-paced goal setting into flowing more with your desires, aligning with the inspiration of what your next step is going to be. You have that vision that pulls you forward, right? And you ask yourself, what is the next inspiring step that is going to bring you closer to your vision? Sometimes it's going to be some next logical step that you have to do, but other times it can be something totally not explainable with logic, but something that is really going to help you quantum leap into your next level. For example, creating a course when you are not even close to having enough subscribers, enough followers, can really be an inspiration that helps you to quantum jump your own evolution and reach your goal faster without burnout necessarily. With your big vision, when you have an inspired action, you go after that, right? And this is when the consistency meets the flow, because you are not just setting some rigid goal with some rigid deadlines, but you are also listening to your body, listening to your intuition and your inspiration, and going with that. So you can still be creating your content, for example, consistently, but also listening to your intuition to do a course, for example. I will share with you some tips that can help you to better honor your desires while you are setting some more aligned and flexible goals. So the tip 1 is going to really have micro goals that can be like micro habits. So atomic habits are not only full of potential, but they are really easy to do. So instead of saying I will finish this project in 3 months, how about you say every day I will complete one step of this project, right, for the next 2 weeks or 3 months. If, for example, you are creating a course, instead of saying in 3 months I want to finish this course, it's so much more wiser to say every week I want to create a session for this course. And then every week you create the lesson 1, for example, and then the lesson 2, and so on. It gives you time to really soak in what you are going to teach, to really include also the transformation that you are going to have in your own life in those courses. So the tip 2 is going to be to embrace flexibility. This means you allow your goals to shift and to be flexible according to your energy levels and according to your inspiration. For example, in weeks that you are more inspired, you can easily do 2 sessions for your courses, right? And in weeks where you are not so inspired, where you are in low energy level, it is okay then to not film a video for that week, but to rest in order to recharge for the next session that you will be teaching the week after that, for example. And if it's in your content creation, it is okay to batch your content, to create many videos when you have that surge of energy. And then it's also going to be okay for you to not film in the phases where your energy is getting a little bit lower, right? The next tip is going to be to celebrate your small wins. Because along the journey, celebrating those small wins is going to be what gives you the courage to continue with your habits. When you see that you have been creating lesson 1 already, it gives you more inspiration to want to create lesson 2, right? If you are choosing to create a series for your channel, for your free content creation, then you having created part 1 will really inspire you to create part 2 and 3. If we think of our goal like a river, there can be turns, but they will all lead to the ocean at the end of the day. Our flexibility is like it is that current that can take turns left and right, but at the end of the day, you will reach your bigger vision, your final destination. But it's so much important to enjoy every step of the journey, to celebrate those small wins along the journey, because else you will be getting there but in a stressful way or in a burnout way. So in order to avoid that, let's celebrate every small step that we are going forward with. Okay, consistency is really like dancing. When there is music, you move with the music. You don't move against it, right? So step 3 is going to be about having your own rhythm and trusting that own rhythm. Rhythms are so flexible, they are so adaptable, they are so flowing. Rigid routines can be suffocating, can be like, I have to do this and that. But rhythm can have the feeling of, oh, I love to do this, I enjoy doing this, right? It's not just about always wanting pleasure only, right? Because life will serve us both, the pleasure and the pain, the support, the challenges. So instead of wanting to avoid the challenges, it is so much wiser to embrace them, to take them in, and to know that we have everything that you need within in order to tackle those challenges. This will help us to trust our own rhythm more, knowing that even the challenges along the way, they are here to help us to grow. They are here to help us to refine our strategy. So some tips to help you with this, with creating and trusting your own rhythm. One is to build small habits. And like we said, celebrating every step along the journey, every milestone is going to help you to really anchor those habits, and that is going to fuel your consistency and create momentum. According to your energy levels, work on high focus tasks when your energy is the most elevated. On times when your energy is lower and distractions can be higher, you can work on low focus tasks. For the inspiration in your rhythm, note your ideas as they come to you, because then when you want to create, you have a pile of ideas that you can tap into and choose the one that is most aligned with you, that resonates most with you in that present moment, and then create from there. Tip number 3 is to really nurture a high vibrational relaxed state. So even when you are not working, keep your thought, your decisions aligned with your bigger vision to nurture that consistency even when you are not working on your task. For example, you can be planning or visualizing what your next step is going to be. Thinking, okay, in 2 days I will be doing this, a course, for example. Your brain will be finding ideas that you will be able to present on that day. Everything in life works with a rhythm, so it's so much better when we can be fluid and adaptable and trust our own rhythm and know that this is what is going to ensure our consistency. For example, you can batch your content and schedule them to come at their own time. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who will appreciate it. Subscribe for more videos like this and comment below which steps you are going to try first. Until next time, stay inspired. I love you. Bye. Mwah. Watch this video next that YouTube is recommending for you. You are going to enjoy it as well. Bye.